Hello, everybody out in YouTube land. It is great to be back. I was taking a little bit of a hiatus, so I wasn't putting out as many YouTube videos. To be honest with you, it was kind of the energy of everything that was going on out in the world. It is very intense out there, which one of the viewers has already mentioned. And I kind of wanted to chat with you guys and see where you're at with everything that's happening out in the world. We definitely have a lot going on, and the energy is extremely intense out there, and it feels almost like every single country is getting hammered with something. If you are watching from Canada, uh, have you been watching the Emergency Act inquiry that is currently happening right now, where um, they're looking into and making sure that it was enacted properly and legally, which I really personally don't believe that it was. So I've been trying to watch that as much as I can in between appointments and before and after work. But yeah, it's definitely been juicy with the details that are coming out, because so far they've proven that there was no violence, that there was no, espionage and sabotage and all of that stuff. So I think the good guys are on the up and up, and I think they're winning right now. And if we look at that on a global level and see the unrest, something is being shaken to its core. And it's usually when we are being shaken to the core and forced to change that change actually starts to happen. And a lot of people don't like change. Um, but there is definitely two narratives that are happening right now, and or a division you can clearly see. You can call it Democratic and Republican, liberal and conservative, doesn't matter what you call it. There's literally two streams of consciousness right now that's big time emerging. And so, yeah, I'm just going to go to the comments and see if you guys have any questions. Throw them up. It's definitely been a while since I've had a good conversation on my channel. And yeah, I definitely, someone had mentioned, MA had mentioned in the comments about a video that I did quite a few years ago, actually. And what a beautiful synchronicity that was, because I had literally just finished listening to this EVP that I caught on tape. I was flipping through my videos on my phone and I had just listened to it. And Emma A said, I was thinking of you today and that session you shared of that man's voice, the angel replied and was captured on the recording. Yes, that I love catching proof on tape with my job. I love it. I love it. I'm fascinated with all of this stuff. And so that was caught in, it was a recording that was taken in an actual reading. And what happened was I was hearing the words, I was channeling exactly that message. And I started to trip over my tongue like I do all the time. And so I paused and my angel kept talking and you could clearly hear, they'll show you is what he says in the video. So you can scroll down on my YouTube channel and watch that video. It's pretty neat. And it's of course not been edited other than clipped so you could hear it. So yeah, it's original. So Suzanne B says, "Do you think Trudeau will be forced to step down?" I do. I do actually. He has overreached in this government so bad that I don't think he has anything left to do but resign. And unfortunately, I think that the people are going to have to force him to resign, through the inquiry, through people being absolutely fed up, because that man's ego is way too big for him to naturally step down, you know, um, like a lot of the officials are right now. You look at who's retiring. Fauci just retired. Oh, really? Is that before it all comes down on his head? There's a lot of studies that are coming to light right now, um, like the one where Pfizer did not test to see how transmissible people would still be after accepting this. So, I mean, we have to stop and think to ourselves, what's in that thing that a lot of people received? What's actually in there? Because it really didn't do its job, did it? Or we wouldn't be experiencing what we did, especially after that thing came out, right? But yeah, Spirit told me that I had nothing to worry about. And so I'm, I have to say, I have zero regrets not getting it, zero regrets. And I know that as the tables are turning, we have to stay in a state of compassion and empathy because I have to say, I know so many people who have had adverse reactions. I actually know 4 people so far who have lost their lives um, due to making the decision to get it. And I'm just one person, and these are people that I directly know. This isn't a friend of a friend of a friend. These are people that I worked with, that I loved. They were my friends. And so how many of you guys, I want to know, how many of you guys know people that have had adverse reactions or, their periods aren't regular and or blood clots in their legs or the crazy amount of side effects, the heart issues, children just dropping on a football field or on a soccer field. We need to start actively asking questions and start holding these officials accountable, especially the ones that force people out of their jobs. And it was very much an overreach that then these companies agreed to because everybody thought they were doing the right thing, right? And that's the sad thing about all this is that people trusted people trusted their governments. And this is where we have to stand back and ask ourselves, when have the governments ever been on the right side of history? When have our governments ever been the good guys? Honestly. So when a politician becomes a salesman and wants inside of my body, I'm going to ask questions. And I suggest everybody else needs to start asking questions too. Because I know a lot of people who are still up to 4 and 5, 3, 4, 5. Like, it's mind blowing. If it didn't work the first time, what makes you think it's going to work on the fourth or fifth time? And as a matter of fact, here's the funny thing, I haven't even had a sniffle, not even a sniffle throughout the whole pandemic. But yet, I know people who have had 3 or 4 of those things and are chronically ill. Chronically. It's like their immune system has been eaten away. The doctors warned us of that, and we should have been asking more questions before we so readily accepted anything inside of our very sacred space. So I'm done with that tangent. Let me go back to the questions and comments. Oh, hi guys. Hi Dawn. Okay. Hi Jen. Good to see you on here. The Detroit Windsor border is fully back to normal. Carol, not to my understanding. From my understanding, Biden extended um, the mandate till January 11th. So, no, I mean, unless you know something that I don't, I was very disgusted to hear that he extended it. That's the other thing. Like, us Canadians, we came together to support the truckers when they said that they couldn't cross without it. Look how many people showed up for that convoy. I was never so proud of Canada as I was when that was going on. The solidarity, the beautiful compassion for strangers. It was just amazing, amazing time in our history. And with our governments vilifying those events, it just makes me want to throw up because I went to some of those protests and it was hugs and love, and we needed that at a time that we were being forced 6 feet apart. Um, but anyways, no, Biden is still at it. I guess he's more liberal than even Trudeau is. Ah, Dawn says there are so many people I know. Do you have any advice for clearing it? Um, okay, so not if it's already done its damage. However, I've heard that there are detoxes, and let me just go back to that question. Okay. Um, any advice for clearing it? I think that the thing needs to be cleared on a bunch of different levels, on an energetic level, spiritual level, and a physical level. The physical level, I'm going to be honest, I don't know. That's anyone's guess. I personally do have detox rife frequencies for it. Um, However, and I'm not saying it doesn't work because Rife therapy so far, it's literally healed me and my family and so many clients of basically every ailment um, that we've targeted with Rife therapy. However, there's no real test to test it, and I like proof. I like to know. I don't just want to guess that, oh yeah, we detoxed it. No, I'd like to see results. How do you know, right? So I think that just doing a detox is probably not enough. Doing detox with Rife therapy, which is not so much readily available, I think that we could do it with that on top of a dietary detox and stuff. But really, I don't know. I don't know with that. But I think that spiritually, it can mess with us as well. Because, and I'll tell you why. When I first, very beginning of the pandemic, I remote viewed um, the virus, and to me, it looked very dark, very heavy. I could see it in a person's auric field. I could see if they had it because it kind of left a mark on their auric field. Then when they started with this, I could literally see someone's status in their auric field. And to me, that's why I look absolutely not. What's going on here? Because your colors are not colors, they're gray. It's gray. And the weirdest thing is you can even see it in their skin. Their skin doesn't really glow, right? And then the mental aspect and the spiritual aspect of it. Like I know so many people who said they have not felt themselves since they got it, that they feel extremely depressed, they feel spiritually disconnected, they don't just don't feel right inside of their bodies. So yes, there's absolutely a spiritual component to that matrix and that web as well. And I think that that takes spiritual healing to get rid of that as well. So, okay, Am says, do you believe in jumping timelines? I think I jump multiple timelines a day, especially when I set intentions. I just haven't quite figured out how to jump onto a specific timeline. Would love tips. So it's all a frequency. It all has to do, well, it depends on how you're doing it, really. Because our actions become our reality. And that's how we can jump timelines is consciously being aware in every single moment of being in our bodies, of the change that we can affect in any given time, right? Um, However, there are ways through astral traveling, lucid dreamings, also to be able to affect timelines and jump timelines. Put something out into the matrix and then have it come back to you into this reality later on. It's shifting your vibrational frequency, literally. Um, and I know that sounds easy, but it's not as easy as I'm making it out to be. For anyone who has tried intentionally astral traveling, it takes some training. It takes some time to be able to loosen yourself up inside of your body so that you can come and go when you want to. It's not as easy um, as just jumping out. Anyways, yes, I do believe that we are jumping timelines, 100%. The other thing, speaking of jumping timelines, that Spirit told me is that the human angels are waking up. We're in a process between 2020 to 2025 where it's waking up and then waking up the others. And by activating ourselves, we will activate the light in another. It is the resonance that you carry. So it's very important right now to stay in the light. Do not feed into the heaviness whatsoever. And for anyone who feels that awakening that's happening right now within you, don't be surprised if your scapula or that space between your shoulders starts to kind of ache. I think it's your wings starting to poke through. But we're waking up, and that's what we're here to do: is wake up humanity. These bodies are just the vessel that gets the job done. But we are very interdimensional beings that decided to incarnate in this time in our specific family that we did. So please do not begrudge or hate your family, or don't let their actions affect your mission, because family, usually the light workers do have friction within the family, and they call you the black sheep, and you feel very different because you don't identify with the drama and the trauma that you've come here to help clean up. So there's also a lot of intergenerational um, activations and healings that are taking place right now, because as we awaken and we awaken our dormant DNA, guess what? Through quantum entanglement, anyone that shares DNA with us, 7 layers up, 7 generations up, 7 generations down, 7 generations across, we affect change. It's a ripple of light in the quantum field that takes place, and it awakens them on a level as well. So, hope that made sense. Oh, Mrs. B, your mom had a stroke. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry to, and she was the only one who got it. Yeah, I'm so sorry. Danae, my sister got a blood clot in her lung from her. This is what I mean. And here's the thing, I know you guys. That's it's not like I'm hearing that it was, your cousin's cousin. So the stats are coming out. This is the other thing that came out with the documents, was they said right now it's actually 1 in 1,000 males are getting pericarditis, myocarditis, heart attacks or strokes. And 1 in 1,000. When they've gone and done this to billions and billions of people, you guys, that's huge. That's huge. What are they doing? We don't even know the long-term effects of what's in a person's sperm, afterwards. We don't know what this is going to do to future generations. We don't know. And that's why I think it should have been a choice. Nothing should ever be forced on anyone. I don't care what a person chooses. I love you anyways. I will support you anyway. But my thing is, it should have been a choice. At the end of the day, they had no right to force something on us and in us that they had no idea what the long term effects are. So I am so sorry, Danae. Please send my love to your sis. I know new faces. I know 4 people with adverse reactions that I can think of off the top of my head. Oh, I'm so sorry. Muscle aches that never go away. Oh, oh my goodness. I've had around 15 people die suddenly or turbo cancers. I that is brutal, Suzanne. I'm so sorry. That is awful. Colleen, my parents' friend just passed away. Can't have a funeral for almost 2 weeks. Funeral home is too busy. See, and why aren't we hearing this on mainstream media? Because they also have to be held responsible for the lies that they told. They also, I don't remember who it was, but this came out in the inquiry that I caught, that one of the news outlets even was trying to string Russia to the convoy. And it's like, are you kidding me? Saying that Russia was behind the convoy? It's just his head is up his arse so far that he can't understand that everyone's fed up with him. He can't understand that even his liberal lovers that used to love him don't love him anymore. But for a complete narcissist, he'll never get it. He'll never step down. We got to literally throw him out. That's the only way to get that man out of office. Oh, I'm sorry, you guys. MA, I pray full disclosure about all vaccines comes out soon, like next week soon. No way, it can't come out soon enough. And you guys, as much as we want to do hashtags told you so, we can't. We can't. We have to have sympathy and be there for the people that remember this was a big psychological operation. This was pressure like no one's ever seen before. People lost their livelihoods, and I look at the truckers, what they did to them. They seized their properties. They seized their bank accounts. You guys, that's huge. How do you pay your mortgage or feed your family? And then you think of the political prisoners that they have tried to destroy through this. Like, we got to pray for strength for this country, that we come together and quit arguing over who's right and who's wrong and just finally get to the bottom of it, because he's got to go. He's got to go. Cecilia, hi Patricia. Is our life fate predetermined? If so, how does free will come into play? Okay, explain that one. Yes, our life is predetermined, but how we get there is us. So your life is like a book. For anyone who grew up in the same day and age as me, you'll remember choose your own adventure books. Well, life is a lot like that. With a choose your own adventure book, the book is all written, but you get to choose what adventure the characters play in the book by flipping to page 5 instead of page 7, right? Tells a different storyline with each different page that you choose. Another analogy that I can give you is, we'll say you've come into this life to feed people, to become the most amazing chef, this world-renowned chef that feeds people. Well, how you learn it is up to you. You can learn gourmet cooking up in the Hamptons, or you can learn it down in the Bronx. It's up to you on how you want to learn your craft or learn and complete your mission. But yeah, the mission is predetermined. It's just how you complete it is up to you. That's how free will comes into play. Okay, where was I with those questions? Oh, there's so many. Good questions. Okay, hold on. Maybe we can pray for that together tonight if the truth on it. Okay, you know what? Actually, please, everyone who's watching tonight, please join me tomorrow is prayers of humanity. I'm calling all of you light workers, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Please join me live on YouTube tomorrow night. We're going to do that. Prayers are really powerful when we come together as one. And I'd love to do it with you under my pyramid in my studio with my holophotonic healing playing in the background. Oh, I'll have it all set up for you guys tomorrow night. It's going to be amazing, amazing healing tomorrow. So please, let's heal humanity. Calling all light workers. Monica, CDC has approved it on the kids' school physical forms. I heard about that. I heard about that. And which is absolutely breathtakingly insane when kids were never at risk. Kids were never dying from this. What is actually in it? And why would they put that on the regular school list when A, children are not at high risk, and B, children are at way high risk for the adverse reactions. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand the stupidity of these human beings and this reality. But this is what we have come here to question and to stand up against. And it's only when we use our voice and actually stand together and sing that chorus together instead of solo, that's when we can affect change. Crimes against humanity, absolutely. Oh, okay. Last month was intense. September 9th, I had a car accident, was devastated. I made so much clearing as if it came to premenopausal hot flash hits. So advice. So was mine to ease those sequence. Oh, the hot flashes. I've had those too. Um, interesting. Definitely think it's a download. It's definitely a higher energy frequency that's going through you, and your physical body is because that's what even Kundalini energy feels like, is that whoosh, flesh coming from the inside out. That's you're usually receiving an upgrade in that time, or I mean, or it could be menopause. Either or, I like to think of it as an upgrade. Oh, thank you, Dan Smith, from joining from Colombia. That is awesome. Carol, I thought Trudy lifted it. Trudy did lift it, but Biden didn't. And yes, they're on trial right now. I can't wait until Trudeau has to testify. I can't wait to listen to that. Um, mind you, I can't even stand his voice, to be honest. But I have to listen to that. I have to listen to where this man's rationale is sitting, because it just doesn't make any sense. The Canadian trekkers were so inspiring. Yes, they were. It was probably one of my favorite moments in my life, because after feeling so alone and not being able to hug anyone, and everybody wearing masks, like nobody was wearing masks, everybody was hugging. I've never worn a mask the whole time. And anyone who knows me knows that I was very, no way under any circumstances would I put one on, and that was very brave. Looking back now, yeah, that was pretty brave. But I have to say, no one really confronted me about it. It was very interesting. I would say a little prayer of protection over me before I went into the store, but no one really approached me, especially not rudely or anything. I was very fortunate that way. But I also think that the energy that you emit is the energy that you're going to receive. And I wasn't looking for trouble or for confrontation. I just wanted my groceries. Uh, you hinted you saw something weird in a client reading October 25th or 29th. Any more clarity? I'm loving that you're into aliens now. Okay, so October 25th. I have to go back and I'd have to tune in and see what that was, but I remember it feeling very heavy and very, ugh, like, ugh, what's going on here? And I think it was, I wouldn't say it had to do with any other countries than the States and Canada. Um, and Canada, because that's where I am. So chances are, if it was something on a bigger scale, it's my country, or the US. But it felt really heavy. And for all my American people that are watching this, I'm praying for you guys, that heaviness lifts, because I know that you guys are going into some sort of elections or something like that. All I know is that when I feel the energy of the US, it feels very tired, very stressed out, very, very, very drained. So I think that here's the other thing I wanted to say, speaking of this. So this energy crisis that they're talking about, it's complete BS. Complete BS. There is They're causing this. They are literally, I believe, um, that this is being done on purpose. They need a crisis in order to bring in a solution. Well, guess what they want to do? They want everything ruled by AI by 2030, or as much enforced as they can. Think about it. These cars, you know, they can track you. They can track you in your vehicles. They can track you with your phone. They smart meters on the house. They know exactly how much gas you're using. You know, it's everywhere. It's everywhere, except inside of us. And it's some people. They're at some point they're going to come for that too. They're going to come to, without sounding like a conspiracy theorist, because I've actually seen this. I truly believe that the microchip is the mark of the beast that the Bible was talking about. And I believe that the Antichrist is AI. It is that eye in the sky that is synthetic. It's a synthetic Christ consciousness. It's not real, it's man made, right? God is, and the energy of God, however that looks to you, it's natural, it's in us. It is sacred geometry, it is patterns, it is cycles. It's all of that. All of that that man can't necessarily control unless he's got his hand on it, right? So I think that this energy crisis that they're creating right now is intentional completely, because all of a sudden they need to go green. They need to go green instead of using natural resources. They need to go green. Well, green is also hooked up to AI, right? Mother Nature isn't. Just a thought, you guys. But I think we're pretty much, the book that we're living in could be Revelations. It really could be. And I think that's why we're here, to wake people up to their divinity, to realize that this realm isn't what's actually real. It's not. If you even look at it on a scientific level, this isn't real. It's just vibrating energy. We all are. So I think that we're here for such a short time to affect change where we can, how we can, and to evolve this planet. But not everyone that you see walking around is human. They aren't. I think that there's a lot of people that that identify as human beings because that's the body that they're in. That's the casing. That's the car. But the consciousness, for sure, is not from here. We are in this world, but we are not of it. And nor would I ever want to be. I just want to do my job and go home. Christy said, I hear the blood does change. Morticians have described this. Yeah, the fibrous clots, the long fibrous clots. Like, the morticians are definitely talking about it, but who's hearing it? No one, because the media is not reporting it, right? They don't want us to know. So unfortunately, you got to really do your homework. Mrs. B said, my stroke is the weirdest thing ever. It affected absolutely nothing else, not her speech, no droopiness, not even the typical signs, except for she can't talk right. She mixes up her words. So she has aphasia. She has aphasia. Wow, I will definitely keep her in my prayers, and especially tomorrow night. I hope you'll join us for the prayer circle. Steve, hi Patricia. Spooky 2 actually has vaccine detox frequencies in their software. So do we with Rife. So do we. But Steve, you know how long it takes to detox something like that. Like when I was using Rife therapy for to heal my neuropathy, for example, I had the blessing of owning the equipment, so I used it as much as I could. So I healed quite fast, but it takes a long time with even with Rife or with the Spooky 2. And if you use it on the quantum remote setting with working on the DNA, that takes even longer. Remote settings are not as strong as when you're actually hooked up to the right machine. Or I don't think so, anyways. Um, Mrs. B, I have central pointing myelinosis, a brain lesion is the base of my brain, and her talking is exact. Oh, I'm so sorry. Do I see the US midterm elections happening? I don't US politics. I really don't. I don't understand because it is different than what it's like up here in Canada. However, I think that the people who used to be democratic or are democratic are starting to think differently. And I'm really hoping that they are because Biden is ruining your country the same way Trudeau is. But they're part of the same team. They're part of that World Economic Forum. And they've totally, like up here in Canada, they've totally signed us up for it. Alberta Health Services is funded by the World Economic Forum. I'm not kidding. Look that up, you guys. Same thing with the World Economic Forum is funding the digital ID trials at Pearson Airport and stuff. Why are they infiltrating our country? Because their ideologies do not match our free and sovereign ideologies at all. So, why those ideologies are being invited into our country? I don't know. I also found out that there was 5 CCP police stations in Canada that Trudeau has let go under the radar. And Americans, you guys just found out the same with Biden. So why? Why? I know that Biden is working with China. It's so obvious, it's painful, right? It's just when is the truth going to come out? And even when it does, what happens? My next question is okay, so this all comes down around Trudeau, and he's found, you know, that it was enacted illegally, the Emergency Act. What happens? What's the repercussions? This is just an inquiry. This isn't a trial, like a legal proceeding. It is a legal proceeding and it is a trial, but it's not a criminal trial. Who's going to be held accountable? That's what I want to know at the end of this. Who can we point the finger at and throw the bill at? Because there was way too many people who lost their jobs, that were coerced, that were forced. There has been divorces over this. That was some of the most evil energy I know I've ever seen in my lifetime. Okay. Um, oh, okay. There's Cecilia's comment. Oops, I was going backwards. Oh, there's so many comments. Sorry, guys. Patricia needs her own show on Gaia. No, no, not Gaia. Not Gaia. I was on Gaia. I've been to their compound. I've worked with the producers on Gaia. I was on 3 episodes. I was on George Norrie, Beyond Belief twice, and I did a guest appearance on I think it was Cosmic Disclosure. No, maybe it wasn't that one. I can't even remember. It was back in 2020. In the summer of 2020 is when it filmed, and then it came out uh, last May. Last May it did, but I don't really like. This is even tough for me turning the camera on for YouTube, but the pressure to actually have a show. I've been offered TV shows before, but I kind of like laying low, doing my work. I would think that I would have a lot more heat on myself with my missing person cases and stuff if I was on TV, and I really like doing that stuff. And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, yes, I do a lot of volunteering with the police on missing person cases. I have found 30 missing people. Hopefully more. It's just a lot of them, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but a good chunk of them are cold cases that it takes a long time to be able to um, DNA match, things like that. But so it's probably more than 30, just waiting for a few results. But anyways, I don't even know how I got talking about that. Kaya, TV. Anyways, that's what they interviewed me about as well, was about the missing person cases that I do. Yeah, this will cause the downfall of public school system. Christy, I hope so. I hope so, because that's crap. When my kids home. We no longer have access to the hearings on Zoom. Veronica, are you talking about the mootness hearing? The judge has not, there hasn't been anything yet moving forward. The judge is still taking that time off in between, apparently. She hasn't made a ruling. So, but I did come across the link, the next Zoom link. If you're talking about Sean Ricard's mootness hearing, so yeah, I'll post that on the community page. It's the instructions on how to be able to get in and watch it for anyone who's interested. We're making history with all this stuff, you guys. We're a part of history, that kids in, ton far generations that we'll never even meet are going to read about us. How cool is that? We're going to make a difference. Um, yes, the energy crisis is purposeful. And you know what? So is the energy of crisis. That is how we initiate change. People got to get fed up before they'll actually change things. And so that's what they're doing, is they're using a crisis in order to affect change, but it's not exactly the change that sovereign people want. So, um okay, when you remote view and see someone is about to do some harm to others, can you stop it? Um if people will listen to you. So it really depends. We'll say it's an abusive relationship and I tell someone not to marry that person. Are they going to listen to me? Even if I describe the events and say, this is what life is going to be like? Probably not. They're going to dismiss it and still go on to learn the hard way. Um, so no, you can't. And the thing is that everyone makes up their own mind. You can't really stop anything. You can't. As much as we would love to, we're not really in control here. We're not, other than for ourselves and our own actions. November, December are going to be a rocky road. Yes, I agree with you. I totally agree with you. Many prophets say it's not end times and God can change it in one day. Um, See, here's the thing. It's not, we got to understand that when I say end times, it's the end of an era. It really, really is. And I am sure all throughout history, everyone thought it was the end days. I will not say that, because we also know that after peace, there's another 1,000 years. So it's not going to be in my lifetime, I don't believe, or maybe not even our children's lifetime. This world has been around for a long time. But I think that the way this world used to be, inside and out, is big time changing. And I think that I just think that we're here to be part of the solution in the evolution. Dawn, any news on the missing person case we worked on in class? Um, yes. No, no, no. I'm still putting the report together. I have not handed it in, but we definitely have the attention of more than one police department, which is excellent because we kind of, since it's interprovincial, we kind of need uh, both um, both provinces to be aware of the circumstances of the case. So yes, we're both provinces are on board, which is awesome. Bill, hi Patricia. I hope all is well. Guy's compound is nice. I was just there 2 weeks ago. Yes, beautiful. It's got crystals everywhere. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. I was talking about the energy. Um, Brian Peckford Ross. Yes, he does. God bless that man. God bless that man. I've actually prayed for Brian Peckford. Brian Peckford is the last, basically, founding father of the Constitution. He wrote the Canadian Constitution. And so he knows exactly what's in it. And it's funny because I guess Trudeau should have made sure that anyone who could, um, dispute it were passed, but he didn't. And so I pray to God that the judge does the right thing and does not throw this case out of court. Brian Peckford and Sean Ricard, it's I believe the same hearing with the mootness here. It's their case. And it's against the mandate. The Diary of the People and the Great Depression are full of good information. Yes, it is. Jen. Jen, I did try to warn you. I did. I love you, girl. I really do. I did. I did. So, but I won't say I told you so. Okay, Lola. Hi. Find it hard to relate to religion, Islam, anymore, or the prophet truthers seem to condone religions, but still quote Bible verses. What about Quran? What is it about the black cube? Any advice? I don't know what the black cube is, but here's the thing. I don't think any religion is right. I don't think any religion is wrong. I think that a lot of religion is man-made. You got to realize that the people who wrote the Bible channeled the Bible. Where did they get this information from? They channeled it, right? Same thing with the Quran. Same thing with Adam Smith, and they channeled it. They were human beings that were not faultless. Um, there is distortions, I think, in all of the great books, but there's also elements of truth in all of them. So you have to feel what resonates with you at your soul level. What is your truth? It doesn't matter what everybody else's truth is. What resonates with you? I God is just a word for such a bigger concept. It isn't even the actual name. I believe that, it's universal energy. It's you, it's me, it's everything. It's the creative power that keeps us going and moving. It's love, it's all of that. It's the good, the bad, it's the all of it. I just think that we are here to find what resonates with our soul. So it if and I'm gonna be honest, I haven't set foot in a church in years. So it's not about church. God can be found anywhere. And I say the term God, but you know what I mean when I say that. That unconditional love, that mercy, that joy, that happiness. It's a frequency that you can align with that then emanates from you. And you know how they used to the painters would paint pictures with Jesus wearing a halo or they would glow? That was their aura. That was literally their auric field. That's why they were glowing. They kept their auric field like a shield of gold around them. It's energy. Everything is energy. And that's what I believe God is, energy that we can align with. Newfie says, Brian Peckford is going to be in Black Creek tomorrow on Vancouver Island with Tanya Gott. Oh, that's amazing. I wish I was there. I would love to meet that man someday. Jen says, curious about the Black Cube. Also, me too. Explain. I've never heard of that. Action for Canada. Aw, Dawn, Patricia's quantum psychic level 2 class. It's amazing. And I have to say, that was such a rockin' class. You guys did amazing. I have to say, all of you guys working on that missing person case, I know a lot about that case. I know ins and outs. There was not one comment on there that you guys got wrong. Like, you guys were legit tuning in to legit points of the case, like, that I know to be true. So I can't stress thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part of that. That was such a cool exercise. Um, I hope to be able to get clearance again to be able to share a case with you guys, when I do the course again in the future, because that was really helpful. And you guys also saw aspects that I didn't see. You picked up on a lot that I didn't see, and then later on, it was confirmed. So good job. Excellent job. Okay. The black cube, the Kaaba? Oh, the Merkaba? Is that what you mean? If not, I have no idea. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research because I've never heard of it. Oh, yes, Sarah Kay. Religion, the book of love, is not a book to be written, but a song to be sung. Amen. Because I promise you, it's a vibration. And what is music? What is sound? You just nailed it. Totally did. I love that explanation. Love it. Okay. Well, I think I'm finally gonna go home for the day. It's almost been an hour, and I'm sure you guys are um, tired of listening to me gab. But I really, really, really hope that you will mark your calendars for tomorrow night at 7. Okay, and here's the other thing: I won't be able to read comments like this when I do my class because I'm doing it through Zoom and then feeding it on to YouTube. So if you want to be part of the Zoom part where I can actually read your comments and talk to you, and maybe if you want to put up a prayer request in the chat, join me through my website. My website is www.patriciamona.com and just sign up. That way you'll get the reminder email. Plus you'll get oh no, you won't get a recording because you'll be able to find it on YouTube. But usually with my classes, I also send out the recording right away for the class as well. So anyways, sign up through my website, or else if you're too lazy to do that, just meet me here. Let's get our prayers on. Let's get our light on. It is time to step up, step into action, and be that change. So I love you guys. God bless. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. God bless, guys.